I just finished the meditation, and for the most part, it was quite a challenge. I had a lot going through my head, and I am going to try to be quick here and coherent with all the stuff that's just like bouncing around in my head. I think it was one of the most profound meditations I've had at home in a while, for sure. So let's see. I just want to share it with you, and maybe it will help me try to understand what it's all about, what's going on in my head. I listened to a voice text today, and I'm going to try to be consistent with not mentioning people's names, but you know who I'm talking about. It was someone mentioning how a lot of times they'll sit down for a meditation, and they can't even. It takes them the whole meditation just to get started, and other times the meditation's great. That really resonated with me, because there are times when I'm just unable to do it. It just feels like all I'm doing is thinking about stuff that I don't need to be thinking about in that moment, and I just tell myself to just get through it, and you'll be better for it. And tonight was one of those meditations where I was just like ready to get up, and it was a body electric meditation, and by Energy Center 5, I was finally like, okay, let's just try to get out of our head here for the rest of the meditation, and just find that void. And I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I started realizing that I had to pee really bad, and so what I tried to do was I tried to detach myself from the pee, and the reason why that was such a interesting moment is because a couple months ago, well, not a couple months ago, I guess, almost, yeah, month and a half ago, I was meditating. I've actually, just when I got back from the retreat a couple weeks after, I was doing a meditation, and I peed myself twice during the meditation. Big, good, solid pees too. It was quite extraordinary. All over my yoga mat and the floor is a big mess I had to pick up, and so I thought that was interesting that that happened. And tonight, when I felt like I had to pee really bad, I was wondering if that was going to happen again, and so I just surrendered to it and tried to detach myself from the pee. And I had this like moment where there was nothing, and it was, I don't know, it was quite amazing. I was so concerned. I've been so concerned lately, just because of the lack of gifts in these meditations or something, and I'm not too attached to the idea, but tonight when that happened, I was really moved, because it was out of nowhere. It was from a meditation that I was ready to get up from, and then holding a pee, and then all of a sudden the void. And so I started thinking about that, actually, and obviously that isn't what you want to do, but it pulled me back, and I was just thinking, what is it? I don't want anything, because that will create the duality that separates us from that oneness. And so I just started thinking about, I want to practice WTF-fulness. That's what I started saying to myself. I just want to practice WTF-fulness. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, it's a phrase that we learned at one of the retreats. And so if you're not familiar with it, I can explain it a little bit. There's mindfulness, which is, we're all familiar with mindfulness and mindfulness meditation, which is great, but we don't want to be in our minds. So there's also nothingfulness, which I had never really heard of before until the retreat, but also we don't want nothingfulness, we want everythingfulness. And so I think WTF-fulness is kind of like trying to incorporate nothingness to everythingness, everythingfulness. And so I started contemplating that and was like lit up. I'm not sure what was going on, but when I started thinking about the W being WTF-full and being nothingful and mindful and then everythingful, just this very amazing place just presented itself, and I just tried to think about nothing and be in it. And of course, every time I thought about anything, I was thinking about, okay, I want to share this. That obviously just brought me back, and so I tried to go back to nothingfulness, WTF-fulness, and then tried to get to everythingfulness. And it was interesting because when I started thinking of the everything, I could just feel this electricity in my body, and it also ultimately, I think, made me realize that it's all this contemplating that keeps us from that oneness. You know, all the previous video blogs that I've put up, all that contemplating is what keeps me from the everything. So I don't know what the future of these looks like. I think I said everything I wanted to say. Actually, I did want to say that if there's tools, then maybe I'll still have more to say, but I'm interested to see what the future of these videos looks like if I continue to do them, because like I said, right now it feels like I don't want to contemplate anymore. I just want to, I don't even know what the word is, practice WTF, being WTF-ful. And so it's I realized it's the deep, thoughtful, contemplative, long processing that is keeping me from the WTF-fulness, the everything. And so that's why I don't know where these are going. But if there's tools that I can share, then I will share them. I think I shared one a couple videos ago, and that's a tool that has helped me over the past couple days, and it helped me tonight when I started to think. Once I had reached that very interesting moment, I just thought about the hug, how the heart and the hug are kind of related. And so if I was detaching myself from, or if I was detaching myself from being detached, if I started thinking, I would just try to hug something, hug the moment, hug myself. And that brought up a nice feeling of love that pushed me away from the thinking, that kept me from thinking and helped me be a little more aware, a little more present. So anyway, I hope this is like not totally off the wall, but I just didn't know what else to do. I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks.